You know who loves Izotope? This guy. Everyone here at Ruinous Media can't get enough of Izotope's intuitively designed plugins for audio restoration, mixing, and mastering. This year, make a resolution to yourself to say goodbye to bad audio and hello to super clear, wide, dynamic, clean audio using Izotope RX11 and the new Ozone 12. Master every track's potential with their complete 20-tool suite. Go to izotope.com and use code FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. That's FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. And go to izotope.com. That spelling is izotope.com. I'd like to welcome our newest sponsor, Schecter Guitars. This holiday season, go over to schecterguitars.com and see what high-quality goodies they have waiting there for you. Premium feel and unbeatable price. See why guitarists like Isaac Brock from Modest Mouse, Robert Smith from The Cure, and Ernie C. from Body Count all love Schecter Guitars. A wide variety of styles and builds with high-end components and affordable prices for touring guitarists. Built to last. Go treat yourself and try something new you've always wanted to check out. Schecter Guitars has it all. Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too. Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. This is our show for Monday, April 27th. Join me as always is the meteorological master, Mr. Aaron Farley. How do you do today, sir?
Yes, the weather up here it's windy. It's a little windy. It's about 39 to 42 degrees, I believe. Okay. And it is raining. We're in the clouds up here at 5,400 feet. And but it's nice. We're getting water. Right. We planted some new plants today, and hopefully they will survive through tomorrow.
Amazing. Don't give it all that away though. You could be betting on poly markets to see if you got your predictions correct. You gotta
right. That's what I'm going to do.
Stake all your life savings on random events.
Yeah, well, now that I have my weather making machine that will salt the atmosphere right above my house, I can now bet and have insider information. You will know.
I did see some video of somebody was taking a hair dryer, like a portable hair dryer, to a thermometer.
The Sydney airport, I think.
Is that where it was? Yeah, I guess
something like
that. To goose the game.
I mean, sometimes heroes don't wear capes.
That goes.
If you're gonna do it that way, I mean, better than betting on the
Mike Tyson fight.
The getting Maduro. Did you hear about that one? That's the new one. Oh. The soldier who had the classified information on when they were going to go in and get Maduro. He put up a bet on when they would get Maduro. And then he put down like $3,000 and won $400,000, whatever.
Is there no vetting? Is there?
Well, allegedly. Sure. Allegedly. I mean, we didn't say his name, so I don't know. But that, and the funny thing, I heard that, and you're like, yeah, this is a cut and dry. Like this is insane that this is even being debated that you can do this.
That we live in, yeah.
But that this is even being debated whether you could do this or not. Like, what are you talking about? Like the gambling only kind of works if the rules are very strict, right? Like, and everybody knows when they go to Vegas, you know that the house has certain, like the house always wins.
Sure.
Everyone knows that because that's why there's a pyramid in Las Vegas, right? Because the house always wins. There's a big silver pyramid that shoots a beam of light way up into the sky
with 40 million gallons of fountains going in a desert.
And you,
because they can afford to do that, and you drove in there in a 15-year-old car on its last legs. And you can take 40,000 gallon fountain in your front yard.
No, and you can take a water slide through a shark tank, the whole thing, right? Because everybody knows that the house always wins, but they also know that the certain games that they play have certain rules, other than roulette or video poker, both a little sketchy. But there is an actual gaming commission. There's an actual gaming commission that has set a certain number of rules about how you can build those games or whatever. There's a certain amount of that involved, right? But if someone goes like, well, yeah, but you know that that's not real, right? That just screws the whole thing up.
I mean,
if you're like, well,
can you bet on WWE now? Can you bet on like
right?
WrestleMania?
You should be able to.
Or can you bet on movies?
Oh my god!
Like will like Rambo win at the end of this movie? Like, I don't know. Better go put some money down.
Totally. And then you wrote the script, so you're like, yeah, no idea, guys, no idea. And you're not. I mean, it's just like that. I think even when they asked Trump, and of course he's like, yeah, I mean, this is, people like gambling. I'm not really a gambling type of person, so I don't really partake in any of that stuff.
The man who's bankrupted
some people
casinos.
Yeah, I know. Some people do, and it's not the way, it's sad, but that's sometimes people have those.
Somebody should do something about this. If only there was somebody who was a president who could do something. Yeah.
Like, how is this? How are you being just asked this question, and you give a complete non-answer, and everyone goes, well, there's his answer. Yeah. And you're like, no, that's a non-answer. But then I was at the Towns had a soccer game today, so we were in Irvine, and we had to stop off, and we stopped at this little burger place. Do you remember Tam's Burger?
Oh yeah,
in LA, right? Like very famous. Yeah. And Tam's number 2 and all that. It was a burger place that was kind of like that. It was like Big Betty's Burgers or something like that, and it was in Irvine, and it was a total hole in the wall that has burgers, and like they also have a breakfast burrito. They have pancakes. Yeah. And then they also have like chicken salad or whatever.
Sounds great.
And so we come into that place, we're sitting down and eating. And of course, Fox News is up on the big screen, right? Because that's where you want to be watching. And they're talking about this betting situation.
Oh, no, really? That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And they're
sponsored by FanDuel. Is it like sponsored?
Oh my God. It must have been probably. They're loving it. All of those places are like, this is the best. What's the one that the rapper Drake, that he was doing steak or something? That one where you can like bet on any sport. I don't know, whatever. It's all betting. This is how you know that we're on the complete downturn of society, when every single thing, when you can bet on everything in the world, and nobody knows like how and where and why.
Who's regulating it?
But,
how would you even
but they were talking about this. So someone brought this up, and they're like, I don't know how I feel about this. You're like, you don't know how you feel about this, about a soldier who got insider information, but that's classified, right? Of course, classified information, and then goes through whatever, does his thing, and then the other person goes, well, I can see why that would be problematic. And you're like, oh my God, what am I watching? Like, what am I even? This is crazy. It really is like up is down, left is right. 2 and 2 equals 5 or whatever. Yeah. And then the one person goes, well, what about all of the Congress people that have insider information and are
that should be illegal
putting
too.
money in the stock market? And the person
goes,
technically, it's like, well, yes, totally. But you're also talking about classified information in a war, and like people going to war, which means that this person put a bet, which means they technically put classified information on a betting site because they actually knew the answer. So they said, so now all you have to do, not all you have to do, but any country, whatever, could just look on the websites and go, or any of these betting sites and go like, okay, where does it say that Saudi Arabia is going to get, nuked or whatever?
Yeah.
And they'd have, and there you go. There's your classified information that's up there that nobody's going to get in trouble for. But then they're making this distinction of like, well, what about Nancy Pelosi? And you go, oh my God, she's not even she's not even there anymore, is she? Is she still there?
She's still serving, yeah.
Oh, I thought she left.
I think,
or this her last
I think
semester, or whatever they call it.
She wasn't going to run again.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, that should be illegal too. Yeah. What are we talking about here? Why is this? Can all of these people? Can maybe a tornado will hit that studio? Just wondering, just to scare them. That's what, just to scare them. Maybe God is coming to you to give you, strike you down, to smote you. We need some people
smoting.
To be smoten.
We don't have enough smoting.
More smoting, please.
Smoting in 2026.
Yes.
Is this 2026?
Not being smitten.
2027, yeah.
More smoting in 27.
Oh my God. Well, what about this for desperate times? Call for desperate measures. Have you gotten any of the ads for raising your own shrimp and selling them?
What? No.
Shrimp farms. You can do it at home.
This is a new thing?
Anywhere you have it. Yeah. I clicked on this. Was like, have you ever thought about starting your own shrimp farm? And I was like,
how many bathtubs do you have?
This must be a Tim and Eric sketch. This must be some kind of like weird absurdist thing. I'm like, nope, this is all real. And now because I clicked on that one and read all the comments, then I'm getting more content regarding like home DIY shrimp farming.
Okay, so don't send me any of those.
Okay,
and I want to see just from us talking about it now. I want to see if the algorithm finds me.
Yeah, I think you got to find the shrimp farming commercial.
I haven't gotten any shrimp farming yet. But I'm not a huge fan of eating. I mean, I'm just not a huge fan of shrimp.
Right, but are you a huge fan of making lots of money shrimp? By raising your own shrimp, breeding shrimp in your bathtub and selling them for a profit?
It feels like raising chickens and selling eggs would be easier. It seems easier, more profitable,
than raising
maybe
shrimp?
More annoying.
Yeah,
I feel like shrimp probably are not that annoying.
They're probably not.
You probably do
smelly.
It in like,
I don't know, they're not as loud.
I bet you do it. You probably do it in like one of those pop-up. Is it like a pop-up pool, like an above ground pool?
Lots of ways you can do it. I don't know. I was just watching a brine shrimp tutorial video on how to do it out of a Home Depot buckets.
Sea monkeys?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, raise your own sea monkeys and you can sell them for
because that's what sea monkeys were, right? You get like little brine shrimp.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my God.
We're going back. We're going back to the 50s. I feel like the 50s were like sea monkeys, right?
Pet rocks.
You'd get pet rocks and sea monkeys and. Oh, it's so great.
It's nostalgic.
So life is so great.
America
right
is being made great again.
The nostalgia is nostalgic.
Exactly.
I feel like we're in sometimes I feel like it's circular or it's like the snake eating its own tail or whatever. But I do feel like it's more like going around in circle faster and faster, like when you go down the drain.
Circling the drain.
Like you start on the outside and then you go like, wow, I feel like we just talked about this like 5 years ago. And now I'm like, I feel like we just talked about that a year ago. And I'm like, is this repeating every 6 months, guys? Are we going 70s, 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like every month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you telling me there's no contemporary culture and it's all just a pastiche of pre-made things?
There's no now anymore. There's no now.
There's yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like we're always looking at like we're just consuming yesterday all the time. And there's not really a now. Like there's not many times where we spend where it's just now.
Should be though. Why not?
It should be.
Yeah. Why couldn't it be? Could be.
I mean, I guess no, it definitely could be. I guess we just have to get off our phones. Get off our phones more. Drive somewhere. I was thinking the other day, I was like, when's the last time I drove for more than 10 minutes and didn't have the radio on?
Oh, it's a quiet car. We end up going quiet in the car just because the kids are freaking out or fighting. And we're like, nope, that's it. Silence.
quiet car.
Or I'll try to put I'll try to put a song on and no one can agree on it. They all hate it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just turning it off. Fine. I'll just drive in silence then. Fine. Everyone says fine. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
So should we give ourselves the silent treatment and just sit in the car in our own thoughts the next time?
Yeah.
Maybe just every Monday.
That's it.
Every Monday. No radio Monday.
No songs. Just let me get a
no podcast.
Let me get a handle on this. I see my own brain to be quiet. Quiet this brain down.
Just open the window, look around a little bit. Just sit there. Think how boring driving was before there was music. There hasn't been music in cars for that long, right? I mean when were 8-track tapes? Like in the 70s?
Yeah. But before that,
it's like those old, I guess we had radio.
Yeah,
the radio.
Cars and radio kind of came along at the same time.
Did they? Model Ts and Model As? They probably didn't have. You're too worried about like steering with that weird lever in the middle of the car. Like, stop with all the racket. I'm trying to stop this thing with my feet.
Speaking of radio rackets, last week's guest, Aaron Coyes from Peaking Lights, he was great. Wasn't he fun to talk to? I feel like that's amazing. So many stories, so many great stories. I just kept like, wait, now what happened? It was like kind of like a Zelig sort of life of just incredible stories.
Yeah. I love people like that.
Yeah.
Like doers.
Yeah. He was not afraid to just get out there and just figure something out. Like, okay, and then I sold everything, and then I'm moving to New Zealand. But first, I went to Australia and Thailand, and Bali.
I'm always worried about what could happen way too much.
Yeah, when you see this kind of,
especially it's kept me safe
at those times too. I feel like that was, but I feel like there's part of it too where it was like when the world seemed like, I don't know, it's not necessarily smaller, but when you didn't have it on your phone all the time, like, fuck it, I'm just going to go do something crazy. And you're like, cool. Yeah. And it just felt more like realistic in some ways, because you could just be like, I don't know what's over there. I'm just going to go find out. I'm going to get a ticket and go to Europe and see the Eiffel Tower. And I don't know. We'll see whatever happens after that.
Yeah. I feel like I did stuff, but I didn't, it was always under the guise of being very worried about what might happen. And I think like even when I did, and so a lot of times I think things just didn't happen because I'm like, I don't know, I guess I could try to buy a ticket, but what if I would get in the spiral of not doing it. And then there were so many people that we all know, like creative people. They're like, yeah, I just been in San Antonio for 3 weeks. I'm like, why? I don't know, met a guy and he was like, you should come to San Antonio for a couple weeks. So saved up like $250 and just went there, and he let me work in his kitchen or whatever. And they're like, how does this happen? I don't ever do stuff like that. I definitely am not like selling all my stuff and just, I moved a couple times but it was all very calculated, and I knew somebody and I had an idea of what I was going to do. And I definitely wasn't the like, I should go to Toronto next week. I definitely was never that person. And I always really admired what do you call it? Like laissez-faire, the kind of like, I've got an idea and I'm just going to save up like just enough money to go do it. And then I'll see you in a month. Yeah. I'm going to go do this thing.
I just feel like, I've always been based in LA, but I've definitely loved traveling, you know what I mean? But I think I always kind of kept it as the idea of like, I'm just traveling. I'm going to go on a vacation or go on a tour or go on a long extended something. But then, but I never really had that feeling like, oh, I got to move somewhere. I got to pack everything up and move to another place, So I've always, I guess that in that sort of way, I was never that fully committed to it, but I felt like it was like, oh, it's a great opportunity to go to, try to set up scenarios where you could just go places for some extended period of time if you're lucky. Because so much of tour was always like just night by night, like you only were in, and totally. I've been in so many places for less than 24 hours, and there's something fun and exciting about that, but you don't really know the place,
No. Yeah. No, I'm the same. Yeah. Like I've been to all the states and done all the things, but it was almost always, it had some kind of work photo component to it. So there was always like,
that scratches a little
I'm
bit.
here for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. But also you just like live in a place that has 100 cities in one city.
Right. Yeah.
So you moved from like an area like to another area, which is technically in the same
I've moved,
county.
I've moved, like inside of LA, a handful of times. And those are drastically different places. Yeah. Moving from West Hollywood to Echo Park to,
Sunland
to the Highland Park to then, Sunland. Yeah. Those are all like totally different living experiences.
Yeah. And growing up in Walnut?
Yeah. Growing up in the
Walnut
Inland Empire and stuff. Yeah. Very different life experiences.
Like I was even talking to one of the soccer parents today, and he grew up in Boyle Heights.
Oh.
But then when he was 13, he moved to San Bernardino.
Oh, wow.
And that's
a big jump.
It's only 45 minutes away, probably. Like if you're West San Bernardino, like by the base of the mountains there and Boyle Heights.
But just culturally
Yeah. And he's just like, oh yeah, it was
night and day.
Totally different when you're 13 and you're moving from like East LA, like, I mean, not technically East LA, but kind of like that area of Los Angeles to like San Bernardino at the base of the mountains. He's like, totally different. Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was completely different, but you're in the same, I mean, you're not even in the same city, but you're in the same vicinity.
Right.
And
it's within an hour.
It's like moving. It's like moving states. Let's be honest.
It really is. It's so true. But it's funny. Yeah, I was talking to some people at a soccer game as well, other soccer parents. But I think the one of the fun things about being in LA is the way they were saying is just that the optionality for education, for different things. They've moved schools and did this, that, and I think where they were saying that both the towns where they grew up in, it was like you had two options. You could pay a lot of money for private school, or it was whatever the public school was. And it's like, in LA, there's magnets, there's charters, there's private schools, there's religious schools, there's public schools, and then 4 other different kinds of public schools. Then there's the one district over, there's those schools. It's like you could really figure out whatever you wanted to find for your kids, and it's almost overwhelming to that degree. But also at the same time, like you got to see what works. Like, what are your options? What do you got? Weigh them out. And there's something nice about that.
It's amazing.
It's not a one size fits all sort of city. There's definitely, you can really tailor make your experience in life, with what neighborhoods you're in. And, what do you feel like eating? Well, there's 5,000 restaurants within a half hour of here. So
yeah, we could literally go anywhere. Yeah, no, I agree. Especially living in a little tiny place now where there's one option for school, or there's two. There's technically you're going to school or you're going online.
Oh, right. Yeah, the homeschool. Right. It's a whole other thing too. Yeah, exactly.
So like homeschool or online school or regular school.
I really don't think homeschool was even an option growing up. Or I didn't know anybody who did homeschool.
I had there were a couple kids that were homeschooled, but we didn't live out in the woods or anything, but we lived in a small enough community that had enough. It always is kind of like a religious,
right.
At least, especially back then. There's more of a kind of like hippie, I don't know what vibe to a lot of the homeschool stuff, but the kids that I knew were pretty religious, and then their parents didn't want them being ruined by
secular school experience.
Yeah.
No, I've seen.
Didn't want them to
I've seen a little bit
with regular people
on the homeschool front where the right and the left almost get so extreme they start to meet again in homeschool
100%.
forums.
Yeah,
it's like, we're not vaccinated. Yeah, we're not vaccinated either. Like, wait a second, why aren't you vaccinated? Or why aren't
what do you
vaccinated?
believe?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It becomes a hot button issue.
Different reasons, but I think maybe we agree. I don't know.
We might agree about the issue, but we disagree about the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. You hate the government? You don't want the government controlling you either? Okay. That's what we agree on.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We'll leave it there. When we say the government, which government are we talking about? Okay. Well,
I would say with school, I would say less controlling, more supporting or trying to support, but
right.
some people's control and some people's support gets a little bit like supporting a community and controlling it. Yeah. You potato. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Live and let live. Unless, no, okay.
Yeah. We don't need to get straight into that.
Yeah.
But yes, his story was amazing.
Great. Yeah.
I love that he got a full ride to school in New Zealand and then got there and realized he hadn't taken the right like medical tests.
Oh, right. That's what
and so he's like, well, I guess I'm just going to meet these two guys and work and write for their magazine. It was so amazing. Inspiring. I love it. Yeah. No, it was awesome. I love it. And it does show it. I think that the biggest thing is that even all of the times that my life changed for whatever reason, or like my kind of friend group or whatever I was doing, it was only from like stepping out and doing something that like I love to do, or that was creative or supportive or community driven, or, something like with the gallery or with the band, or even doing photography was all about shooting people and meeting people and trying to get involved in a scene and photographing and like all of those things. And I feel like, again, these stories and these people that you're interviewing or having conversations with are like so much of it. The tie that all binds them together is people going out and being in creative communities that support each other in like that you can be kind of like a dirty kid, like traveling around the world and go like, oh my God, I like these really crazy noise bands and like Throbbing Gristle and whatever. And you'll get the two kids that will go, oh yeah, no, us too. Wait, there's only 3 of us here. Let's go.
Let's start a band. That's all we need.
And we'll introduce you to the other 4 that are in the town next to us. And then, I mean, I think that those, like, it's like all of that. It's like Fort Thunder. It's like all of those stories that lightning bolt and it just reminded me of that. It's like that, like come on in. Like hey, the weirdos, or you don't feel right, or you just have creative things and people don't understand, and like we don't really care what you're wearing. Like come in, we don't care what kind of music. Like there's a vibe here, and this is like, you want to just bang on trash cans and have contact mics and do the whole thing. Like 100%. Or you want to try to make like kind of poppier songs? Yeah, totally. 100%. You want to wear masks while you play the drums? 100%. Let's go. This is great. Hey, you want to do art? You want to
the show Saturday?
Go over there. You want to do a show? Like we'll just have a show. We don't have anything booked. Come in and do a show. And I think that was like the smaller version of when we had that gallery space. And I think Jeremy actually posted something just yesterday or the day before, because Claire had an opening in New York at this space for this snowboard company called Signals. Opened up this kind of space, and I don't know if they know really what it is, or but they had a show there for a zine. Like she just made a zine about her trip to Patagonia, and what he talked about, he was like, yeah, it was just like people were stopping by and going like, hey, what's this? And hanging out like, oh, I love photography, or like, oh, I'm a photographer. I'm going to call my friends and they're going to come over. And it was like, creative directors and whatever that they knew, but then like skateboard kids coming in and like, what's this? What's happening? What's going on? Organic. And all of those things, it just reminded me too of like the gallery that we had too, which was started as like, oh yeah, we'll have an art gallery. But then you played there a couple times. Mm-hmm. We'd have people that would come in and go, hey, I just have this one night idea. I'm like, yeah, let's do it in between shows. What do you need? Or whatever. And that was one of those life-changing experiences that I'm like, oh, I got like so many more friends and acquaintances and people just added to all these amazing people I already knew. And then this whole new set of people, just like community, just came out of, I mean, obviously not nowhere, but it was something that was when those spaces start, or when one person goes to a town and goes, oh, I have this new thing I want to try. It can completely start a whole new, it could just be the catalyst to
you never know,
a whole new thing. You never know. But you do have to like step out the door and do the thing, and like do a thing or fail at 100 things and then do the one thing that works or whatever. But like, if you don't step out the door, if you don't like show someone your work, or if you don't like try to start a band or whatever, then the community is what's needed to like make it real.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, you can paint in your house all day, but until you like show it and someone gives you feedback, like, it's not really real. It's just kind of living in it doesn't really exist yet. It's still kind of living in your own space. And for something to be creative, I feel like it needs to be seen. Like, it needs to have that feedback and the conversation and all that stuff. So, and I feel like his story was all about that happening over and over and over and over again.
Like, okay, we got something, but we got to put something together to get to the next thing. And then that becomes the thing. And then,
we have to make a band so we can get to Austin.
Right. To be,
I loved that one. That's like the best thought process ever. Like, okay, we have a show in Austin in like a month.
Instead of just driving there, let's start a new band so that we could tour there. And
even though driving there would only cost you a couple $100, but like in gas or whatever.
Let's start a whole new creative project just to
completely,
get there. And that becomes the focus of your life.
5 places on the way and do the whole thing. But again, it's like, it's creating community, and it's creating like every one of those places that you play and all those people that you meet just like makes your world bigger and bigger to do more stuff.
Yeah. No, I think it's true. But it's looking for those opportunities to be creative also. Like, okay, this is an opportunity. We have to drive from one place to another. We have 3 months to do it, or 3 months before we go to do this big drive. What can I set up to make this drive something more creative or something more that's supportive rather than, taking away? I always think about like resources versus assets. Like, what is a resource that gives me something, whether it's meaning, creative outlet, something, or what is an asset, a liability, or I guess more asset liability kind of thing, like a resource or a liability. Like, is this going to just cost me money and time suck and take away my opportunities to do things? Or can I turn that liability into an asset, swap it's the meaning of it around? Like, okay, how can I make this, whether it's financially beneficial or creatively beneficial or something? If you have to do the time, if you're going to be on a plane for 9 hours, like, I'll read a book, or I'll get something out of it, or I'll paint something, or I'll draw, or I'll doodle, or I'll write poetry or something, or at least give yourself part of that time, if you want, or if you're just burned out and just need to sleep for 9 hours and watch bad movies.
Yeah.
Giving yourself the permission to just be lazy also is fine.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to hear more too. Like, I mean, I know because you guys were you guys could have talked for like 3 more hours. I feel like
there were a lot of stories.
Like, even when he was talking about doing remixes, and he just kind of touched on it, but then I was like, wow, I want to hear more about the remixes. That sounds crazy. What is that? Have you done remixes before for people? So what's that process like usually? Do you get kind of a bunch of stems, like all the stems and everything, and then they're just like, go for it? Or usually, what's your process?
That's the idea. I mean, I've done a handful of them, and I think they've gone out as like no age remixes, but it's just me staying up all night usually. But yeah, you get the stems for the songs, which are like, just all drums, like a stereo track of drums, and then guitars, keys, vocals, bass, whatever there is. And then, whatever you want to do is what you want to do. It's sort of up to you to, usually I'll listen through to the song a few times and kind of just try to put my like creative antenna out and just sort of like, okay, what is this? What am I hearing that it's not doing? Or what am I hearing that it could be doing? Like, oh, what if it did this? And then I'll lay out the stems on I did most of my remixes on Pro Tools, which isn't really like a remix platform. It's just kind of straight tape audio. It's a linear sort of editing position, but I liked using it, and so then I would try to make loops out of things, or like, okay, I think this thing, if it would be cool if it repeated a few more times, like if so you try to find like cut the wavelengths and then loop it and try to get some kind of rhythm to it. I think I've gotten better at. For 60 years, Heel Sound has provided innovative, professional, quality sound for stage, studio, broadcast, and podcast. Grammy-winning artists and sound engineers worldwide trust Heel microphones for their legendary sound. To find out more about the full line of Heel microphones and products, visit heelsound.com. That's HEILSOUND.com. I'm using a Heel PR40 microphone right now. Understanding the editing a little bit. I think those early ones are pretty janky. I had like the weirdest drum rolls that I was just making like one drum hit at a time. And there was software then that would have made it easier, like Logic or Fruit Loops or Live or all these other things, but I just never got good at using the software stuff.
But those are more like making dance, like almost dance
kind of
rhythms.
Yeah, they're made for samples and for like kind of things. But yeah, with the whole track, I mean, basically you could just sample those things and kind of create your own sort of palette of samples out of the stems. You know what I mean? And that's one way of going about it. But I don't know. I kind of got lost in it. I would just enjoy the process of just getting lost in the song.
Yeah. And then you're just kind of trying to make, I mean, because originally like a remix would almost just be someone taking a mix and then just like a mixing engineer.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Whatever that idea. Yeah.
Would have usually been just like, okay, I think this song should have like the cymbals should be a little higher or whatever.
Yeah.
And then somehow it turned into like, no, this means we're making like a dance track version of the song.
A reimagining of the song.
Which is more of like a reimagining or adding like drum and bass or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I like that. I like that idea of, I mean, I guess that makes sense now that we're such a sampling culture that would have been a thing that would come out of that. Well, if we're going to sample other people's songs, why not give our song to someone else to sample our song to make a new version of our song with the samples of our song in their new song?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something. Like there's a great like Grizzly Bear or whatever. There's a couple of remixes that pop up on my thing every once in a while. These like really slow kind of songs and then they turn into some crazy like yeah.
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 No, I did a remix for this band, Holy Fuck. They were awesome. That was a really fun mix. And then I did one for Block Party. Do you remember this band? They were like an English band.
Yeah. I remember that band.
I did one for Fucked Up. They were another band, a Canadian band with the word fuck in their name. Yeah, it was really fun. I remember I had this.
Ratfist famously opened up for.
Yes, yeah, famously. And to you and our minds.
Famously.
Yeah, and everybody else that saw those two shows, they still talk about it to this day. Was it?
Yeah,
there was
who was that? The band that opened.
There was a great remix record. I'd be curious to know what the history of it was, but there was this band, the Pastels, and I think they were like a Scottish band, and they had this awesome remix CD. Illuminati, the Pastels album. It's a remix album credited to the Pastels, released in 1998. I had this one, and it was remixes of songs by the Pastels album Illumination by artists such as Stereolab, Mouse on Mars, My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, Cornelius did one. John McIntyre from Tortoise. My Bloody Valentine, which again is probably just Kevin Shields. That one's amazing. Jim O'Rourke, The Makeup, just did like a covers. I don't know why, but yeah, how did this happen? Like, whose idea was this? Who was the producer, or who was the person who put this all together? But that record was amazing. Again,
I don't know the
17.
Pastels.
Okay.
Were they a huge band, or like an huge influential band?
I don't know. I think it was sort of it came out on Domino's, so maybe Domino's pulling in some favors or going out to people. But I mean, I was a fan of all the people who were remixing it, so I didn't know the original music, but I liked all the people who were on the record.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. But that sort of was one of my early sort of findings of like a remix. Like, what is a remix? And so I kind of used that technique of it all. Like, oh, cool. Yeah. Sometimes you use some of your own music, your own drum loops. You can use some of this sound, some of that sound. I think a big way I look at it is really like when I listen to the song or I listen to the parts, I'm like, what do I want this to sound like? What am I not hearing? Or what am I hearing that I don't want to be hearing, and take out the stuff I don't want to hear and put in more of the stuff I like. And then usually that kind of starts like a creative sort of avalanche, hopefully, if it's going well. Like, ooh, if it does that, then here's what it needs to do. And if it does that, then it does this. You kind of set up these if then sort of creative equations. Like, ooh, if it's going to do that, then it needs to have this intro to build to that part. Because that part sounds really good, but can't just go in straight to that part. It needs to come here. So you sort of like put a few pins in a song. And I think that's even kind of how I work, as a songwriting or kind of sound production sort of idea. There's like one or two things that sort of like to get real exciting, the big spark. And then I've seen like, not to pull my car up next to his, but I've seen Paul McCartney talk about his creative process in that some sort of way that's like, there's like one or two sparks if you're lucky. And then you use your sort of chair making craftsmanship. Then from that, you know how to build a chair. It's like, oh, cool. If this is the color, this is the one weird thing I like about it, but then it still has to operate as a chair. It still has to be sittable. Like, this still has to be a song. It has to be 3.5 minutes and have a beginning, middle, and end, and something happens, but you have like a pillar of a sound. Like, ooh, I like the way this, whether it's a chord change or a melody or something, there's something that you just came up with in like 10 seconds. And then you can spend the next hour sort of applying all of the logical support structures around something that sets that jewel of an idea of your like first spark. You set that in a framework, more or less, and then boom, and then you got a song.
Yeah.
So like you just need the one idea, and I think everybody can have one idea. Where you see somebody who's super talented or super prolific like a Paul McCartney is when you realize like, oh, all of the craftsmanship of songwriting, but it's not necessarily inspirational. It's just knowledge based. Like, how to this song could go sad, it could go happy, it could go long, it could go short, it could go fast or slow, or, you can shade it in all these different ways. And that's just from 10,000 hours of experience of writing a song, playing other people's songs, playing cover songs, just understanding the craftsmanship of how to build a song. Like, if you want it to get bigger here, then you got to get quieter, and then you have that contrasting thing, or the tension and release. You want your notes to sort of like go into this just chord in place to then release into this big major chord, kind of thing. So you just kind of pull on the levers. But I think that's the same sort of idea with the remix ideas, like one inspired moment and like, ooh, okay, now let's, set that.
We're to work on this.
Build the frame around that to make those things sort of pop. And then along the way, then like, ooh, but I like that. But now if I like that, then I got to do this. And now then you balance it out, and you kind of have these little like explorative sort of moments, and then go crazy.
Do you ever add guitar and things like that, or just only kind of drums and
just there's kind of like two schools of thought of it, I guess, right? That like you're just using only their material. But even in that material, you can edit it to the degree and reverse it and run it through delays and reverbs and things and create, a whole new sound out of something. Like, I feel comfortable enough using a studio or a mixing console kind of thing. Like, okay, if we just take this and loop it and, duck all the low stuff out of it. So you're just hearing this, it's all high, weird textures. And like, well, originally that was somebody's voice, but now it just goes like, okay, that's fine. Now I like that sound. That's
just
good.
Using samples.
You could alter the original sound so much that you could create entirely different sounds. But sometimes it's fun, like, oh, I just want to hear bass line. I want to change the way the bass line sounds, and you play something else, or I want to add this noisy part. So I'm up for all of it. I think as long as it sounds interesting. I don't know. So Ryder's been getting into the Black Eyed Peas. He likes, let's get it,
as he should.
Let's get it started. But there's like the Slate mix or something. I'm like, what? Why are we listening to a weird, like, it's not even like a dancier remix. It just feels like more like you're saying, like, just a different mix of the song. Like, did radio not want this? I was like, can we hear the original edit? Because I'm so confused now. Like, what is the remix doing?
And it's they just turned the floor tom up or something.
I have no idea what exactly it is, but I mean, there's like little technical things I can hear. Like, well, the guitar doesn't sound compressed in the remix. Like, why is the guitar so wide open? And then you hear the actual like radio mix. Like, yeah, that's how a guitar should sound. But like, this just all feels a little like less mixed or something. Like this person just took all the stems. I'm like, but I feel like it's something that must have gotten pushed through the algorithm of the streaming thing to him, like this particular mix. Because I was like, how does he even hear about Black Eyed Peas? I feel like somehow this weird mix might even be like attributed to someone else's account. Like Black Eyed Peas aren't even getting royalties from it or something. This might be like a Spotify owned version mix of this thing that's made up of other elements that somehow was being pushed to the kids. Like, if you like whatever, Daft Punk, listen to this Black Eyed Peas mix.
There's got to be so many things.
This feels like a scam.
There's got to be things that so many people are getting through, like the floodgates before they close. Like, there has to be, because there's the way that you're like monetizing through listens and all of those things. But I know that there's like, I feel like someone just got arrested or something for creating AI songs and uploading them, but there was some way that they were doing them where they had uploaded like 10,000 songs or something, and they just had it. They had like, I have to look this up because I just heard someone talking about it, but they had it set up to where the computer was just making songs, and then he had written the algorithm or something so that it was uploading it itself onto Spotify. So they weren't even touching or seeing the songs. It was just like making songs, and then it was uploading them to Spotify and monetizing it and everything. And it was just doing like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of songs. And this person was making like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, that's so funny.
But for some reason, I'd have to look it up because I just heard two people talking about it, and I was like, no, I'm just here to listen. Tell me more. I want to hear the whole thing. But I never looked it up, so they could also, maybe they were a fake algorithm.
Yeah.
My name is Al.
Algorithm. I think that's
algorithm.
Yeah. Oh,
but I feel like there's got to be you're just hearing all the scams now, right? Like with all the betting and with all the, like, everybody who has a scam is just like, this is our time, guys.
Get in.
This window is only going to be open for so long.
Keep it scamming.
And guess what? The bigger the scam, the more that we have a chance to get away with it. Because if it's a really good scam, all the people at the top are going to be like, hey, we got to give it to that guy.
Oh my God.
I'll give it to you. We're going to let you out. We're going to let you out, buddy, because that just, you should be pardoned. That's what I'm going to say. That's a great idea. I want you to come work for me.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm finding all of these remixes. I'm putting them in the chat. Maybe I could put these in the where would you put these in? Oh, I'll put these in the show notes if anyone wants to hear some remixes of everything I'm talking about. I will. I'm putting them in our chat here, but I can also put them in the show notes for this.
Yeah,
show.
That would be awesome.
You can listen to some remixes that I've done as No Age remix masters, and then I put the Pastels Illuminati remix record that sort of inspired me. And I'm sure you could hear where the apple did not fall from the tree. Or at least that's my attempt, is what I'm trying to do, is to sound like somebody who's remixing a record off of that. And I probably landed somewhere else entirely, but there's a few ideas there.
Well, how did you meet Aaron?
Aaron Coyes, Peaking Lights. So Indra played in this awesome band Numbers from San Francisco, and she was roommates with Bianca from Eraserata. And I think we had played shows with Eraserata and Numbers. I think Numbers had played at the Smell. So we kind of knew them from the road. And I think we stayed at Indra's house. And when we were in San Francisco, I think it was the kind of thing we played a show somewhere and they're like, oh, just come crash on our floors. So we probably met Aaron through Indra and then just kept in touch. And then they moved to Madison, Wisconsin. I think you talked about that a little bit in the interview. And they had a vintage store there. And this was probably around 2010. And we asked them, we knew they had a band, Peaking Lights, and we asked if they would, open the show for us at this cool, I think it was like the Majestic Theater in Madison. It was a cool kind of theater place. It was at the height of our everything in between sort of popularity, post nouns sort of thing. I was like, cool. Hey, this is actually before the wheels kind of fell off. Sort of like we could just play weird big venues and ask friends to open, and wow, everybody made money. Look at this. How great is that? This will never end. It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, I think we hung out just through those. It just sort of felt like friends of friends kind of things. And then they moved to LA and had some babies. And it was always just kind of fun. Like, oh, look at these cool people doing cool things and playing in bands and having babies. Like maybe this is a reality. This could work, It's, sort of, it's always inspiring when you see people who you look up to or who do cool things, and then but they're living kind of a normal life. They kind of just became moms and dads now. How does that work? So I think that, at least for me personally, I thought that was cool.
Well, that's the cool thing about living in the city is that the people that are doing stuff also get old enough to, some of them have babies. And then, I mean, I always loved it because the gallery was the year that we were all having kids. And so then, but a lot of other people were too. So then so many of those shows were like
people pulling up with strollers and yeah,
all the time. And it would be the craziest show, or like a loud band or something would be playing in there, and then they'd all the little kids with their little headphones
squeezing their soft skulls together. Like, oh no, they're gonna have pointy heads now from all these headphone shows.
Yeah, I think Lila's first show was seeing you guys play at the Getty.
Oh, wow. Okay. I remember
some lady yelled at us because we didn't have like proper headphones on her. And I'm like, her ears are stuffed with toilet paper. Yeah. She's fine.
Yeah. Worry about your own kids. No, I remember.
Yeah. She hears fine now. I have to yell at her a little bit, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's good.
It's fine.
Yeah. She's okay.
Yeah. No,
it was worth.
I remember Jeremy and Claire having their oldest son like on the stage or like on the side stage at FYF Fest and seeing him when he was just a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so funny. He's probably graduating high school now.
He is. Yeah. Same age as Lila. Yeah. They're both graduating this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was definitely, but it was inspiring because I think there's that sort of fear, especially when you're younger. It's like, you don't really want to mess with anything because you don't know, it's like, it's going well. Everything's happening. It's but then you're like, but if I have a baby, or like how normal could my life get? Cause I think so much, at least for me personally, like when I was younger, was going after a creative life or after these crazy dreams seems so unrealistic, but it was also running away from kind of like straight time too, of this feeling of like really like just, living a boring suburban life, which I felt so repelled by at that age, and just wanting to like dive into anything other than that. That it's funny, 20 years later, looking back and going, oh, I kind of just landed in a suburban sort of boring life, but
same thing.
but it wasn't as though I don't know. It's like, it's a funny sort of feeling of like, well, everything succeeded and went well. And we made adjustments just for survival or whatever, you know what I mean? Cause there was part of it too, where it's like the creative life became very lonely in those kind of ways too, or it just became very like unfulfilling in its own sort of ways, or it was sort of like, you're building things up just to sort of impress yourself. You know, it's like, ha ha ha, look at this house of cards I made. Wow. And then you knock it down. Well, look at this house of cards I made. Wow. And then realized there was nothing really substantial to it in those kinds of ways, where as much as it was, you know, the accomplishments, whether it was a career or creative accomplishments, like there wasn't a feeling of like longevity with it, I guess. I think, or that's how it started to feel as a band or as a career. It was like, oh, okay, this is all easy come, easy go. It's all, everyone's your friend when you're making money, right? We've talked about all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then as that shifts, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I can't just be out here, you know, being so worried about driving a minivan that I'm going to cool myself into some weird like pocket of like alcoholism and addiction and depression because I'm so worried about being boring. Look how exciting my life is now. I'm up all night with a bunch of strangers doing drugs. Like, this isn't necessarily interesting. You know, this isn't the opposite of suburban healthy family life, or as much as it is the opposite of that, it's not beneficial. You know, you start to like, you change the meaning of the terms of the agreement. You're like, oh, I wanted something, you know, fast paced and exciting and creative. And like, now I'm just paranoid and on drugs and lonely. So this isn't
not now.
There's not now. No, but I'm saying, but like at the height of the creativity, and you're like, oh wait, this is kind of totally. You know, I think that's the other thing with a lot of these remixes. I think I was definitely doing drugs and staying up all night and doing remixes, and thought I was, you know, horribly creative and very pleased with myself. But you know, there's it's a very shallow pool to dive into time and time again, and you keep, you know, hitting yourself on the head and like, this isn't sustainable.
And I think there's a difference too when you get older and you kind of move to the suburbs or move out of town or somewhere that's a little bit more comfortable maybe to live in or has a little bit more space, but you're kind of moving there under your own terms. Right. And it's not like when you were younger and someone goes, well, you got to be a stockbroker, but you don't want to be a stockbroker.
Right.
But you're like, well, I need a house and I'm supposed to have all these things. And you start doing that when you're in your 20s and 30s. And then you get all those things. And then you go, but I always wanted to paint. I wish I would have painted. Or I always wanted to be in a band, but I was too busy working 60 hours a week doing this thing. And now I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's good. But I think when you get to these spots and you get a little place and maybe you're in the suburbs and you're like, oh, I'm kind of where I'm kind of in that spot that I resisted for 20 years. Mm-hmm. But you're like, yeah, but I got here under my own terms. I'm happy with how
the journey that brought me here. It wasn't
like, you know, and sometimes it can be a little too slow for my liking. Mm-hmm. You know, like I need a little bit more. I do wish the drive to LA was not an hour and 45 minutes. It would be nicer if it was like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, like where you are.
Sure.
Or where even when we were in Altadena, you know, it's like when you feel like you're close to the city, but you still are like, oh yeah, I'm going to a show. It's 30 minutes away.
Right.
But that's nice. Yeah. It's a good 30 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes can be a stretch. And especially now with gas money, every time
oh my God, yeah.
Well, when I drive to LA, I'm like,
it just cost me
$30. It cost me $30 to drive back and forth from our house to LA. Because the problem is we have to go up to 5,000 feet. Yeah. So when you're going up this stupid hill, I'm not stupid. Listen, it's beautiful.
It's probably only 50 miles.
This beautiful stupid hill.
Horizontal miles is like 50 miles, but you're 5,000 feet up. You know, it's 50 miles over and then 5,000 feet up or whatever.
It's not even that. So from the bottom of the hill to our house, it's like 15 miles, I think.
15 miles.
It's not that. It's not even that far.
Feet of elevation.
15 miles. I need, at the bottom of the hill, I need my car to say I have 50 miles left.
Wow.
For me to drive and get to our house. So it's, 15 to go 15 miles. So it just becomes a calculation of like,
I can't afford
all right.
to go to,
and that means I can go to LA, but I can't buy anything. I can't get a drink. No food. I have to eat on the way. I have to have a huge bottle of water to stay hydrated. No, but there are those things that, of course, that it's like, I miss that. But I miss them like 10 years ago. I would have missed it 4 nights a week. Right. Now I miss it like once every 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm like,
it's not.
There's a thing, and I'm like, right. I should really get in there. And
yeah. But I mean, I definitely feel, for my life or for our family life, I felt like I won the lottery in some ways where I got to do all these weird, insane, creative things. But then I also got to live. I didn't have to, die or overdose or do anything, depressing, where I was like, right. Oh shit. I pressed the eject button at the right time and was able to like teleport over to this other world. Like, woo, look at this.
Stay healthy.
I had enough money to buy a house, got kids, got a beautiful wife, got a car. Okay. I was going to go. I was healthy. I felt I was like in the witness protection program. I was kind of like, whoo, all right.
Don't tell anyone.
Just landed here. I'm just working and it's fine. This is great. And then that slowly cools into a sort of, goes from hot magma to like, whoa, I'm here, to then like, oh, I'm kind of just a porous rock. Like, this is great. I'm just kind of sitting here. No one even cares. No one's looking at me. No one gives a fuck if I'm here or not, or if I've done anything in my life or not. Doesn't even matter. I'm not hiding. I'm not doing anything. I'm just enjoying being in this position, in this place. Like, this is just great. Yeah. And it's stable and it's foundational. And I'm able to, now have 2 great kids and give them opportunities to figure out who they are and who they want to be and what kind of life they're going to have. And it's like, this is awesome. All right. And it's not about me, and I don't feel fucked up from doing too many creative things or not getting to do enough creative things, or not, like it was kind of got to that point of like Goldilocks, like it's not too hot, not too cold, and not too anything. I'm just like, I'm just right here. This works. Yeah. This is sustainable. This is something that I could see, maintaining through till both of these kids are of age to either go to college or get jobs or do something else. And it's like, oh, that's nice. And just realizing what a value it is to be there for other people and be reliable, being able to be reliable as a parental figure. Like that's a huge accomplishment, especially for somebody who, wasn't always reliable or wasn't always, it just always felt like, it's like, oh, okay. Just kind of living for each day in this sort of hedonistic or wiling out sort of like, wow, this is just, I'm in the present. This is today. Wow. Look at this. This is great. Wow. And just getting churned, like spun around in a wash machine enough times. Like, is it still today? Oh God, this day's going on a long time. Oh boy, it's still today here. Okay, this one day really feels like I've been doing this for like 5 years, and every day seems like it's the same day over and over again. But I'm still living for today, right? Okay. Like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna kill myself if I have to keep living the same day over and over again.
Right. I always felt like it was like living in a cartoon. Yeah. Which is really fun in your 20s.
Right.
Where it was like you'd show up at a place, or you showed up at a party, or someone was like, hey, we're going to this place. And then you'd show up and go, how did I get here? This is crazy. Yeah. Wait, why are we walking down the street with these people going to this place? And I'm like, oh, I feel like
it's a fish out of water all the time.
Weird, 100%. And also just like, very cartoon like. I mean, it is very, it's LA, and everyone was excited to do a new thing. And who wants to go try to find the new place that someone just started a new thing that everybody's excited about. And we all know the guy who's running the door. And, it's like, I work at the restaurant with the guy who runs the door at night. And, all of that exciting stuff in your 20s. And then it slowly becomes like, this used to be really exciting. And I don't know. I don't have let's leave it. It was interesting when you were talking to Aaron about that like showing up to a show and going like, no, I want to watch music, but I do feel like I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
I'm like 45. Like even when we went to watch our friend's son's band, start today. It's like a hardcore band. It was super fun to watch, and they're crazy and they jump around, and everybody's doing their like East Coast hardcore, like the high kicks and the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, super fun to watch. And but like when I went to get a ticket or whatever, the lady's like, "No, just go in." I just figured like, hey, you're like an uncle or something. I don't like, you must be one of the parents.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
No, it's fine. Just go in. Yeah. We don't need your money. This is for the kids. We know you're proud of the youngsters, you know. You can see it like, oh yeah, right. We stand out like, yeah, okay, cool. I used to go to these shows.
I used to be a person.
I used to be one of you. That's really
it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, it will happen to you. But,
oh man. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, this is a good one. Next week, more fun interviews coming. I will post links to a few of these remixes. I guess I remixed this band Crystal Castles. Do you remember them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
I have one of their songs on my school playlist that I play. Party time.
Oh really?
Yeah. Right. When I play music in class.
I don't know if any of this stuff is on like because this stuff like all came out on like CDs. Like I don't know. I'm assuming this is probably up on the streamer somewhere, right? But
maybe. Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm poking around here trying to see like, is this a thing? Did that survive the conversion of format conversion survivals? You have no idea. I don't know, but it's the Pitchfork page is still up. So it tells me that I did it. I don't remember this. September 8th, 2010.
Oh,
I bet it's probably good.
All right. Yeah. Try to find that.
Yeah. Let's see. If anybody knows where that is out there, you can send us a link to it. hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Instagrams at Randy S. Randall, or find Aaron Farley at Aaron Farley on Instagram. And send us some remixes. Somebody should remix this podcast. Can somebody put some
send Randy some stuff to remix?
Some drum and bass. All right, send me tracks. Yeah, send me your stems. You can send it there. Hyphenate halftime.
Send me your stems.
I want to show me your stems.
Send to fanstems at
hyphenate halftime@gmail. Send me stuff. Sure, I'll listen to things. I'll remix something, or put some drum and bass under us here. You could just sample our.
Better than that, I'll remix it. I'll put it right in GarageBand and remix it right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure aren't there just AI agents and bots that can just say, do a
oh yeah,
a My Blade Valentine remix of this conversation.
1,000,000%. I just heard a conversation with some pretty big, like hip hop rappers that were talking about, like ghostwriters and all this stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
And then one of them was like, "Well, what about all the rappers that have ChatGPT and Gemini help them?" And I was like, "You gotta be."
It's already happening.
Yeah, and they're like, "No," and it's like, "It's no big deal." They're like, "Yeah, I mean, every once in a while I put my stuff in. Like, what would be a better rhyme for this?" Like,
oh no, it's happened already.
I mean, but you know what? Let's just do it. It's fine.
Sure.
Just don't put it up on Polymarket, whether someone can bet whether you wrote it or not.
Oh, too funny. All right. See you later.
See ya.